Oh,
saving deals.
fair enough. Hey, everyone, welcome to a new Real Estate Roadmap podcast. I got it right that time.
So
We
proud
are
of you.
a bunch of real estate agents, which we'll introduce to you if you haven't been here before in a second. But basically, we all do business quite unique in real estate, and we kind of share experiences, have real talk, and talk shenanigans inside of this podcast. So if the first time you've been here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Nice to see you, or I can't see you actually, but you get the point.
Nice to be inside your ears.
Nice to be inside your mind and ears.
Inside your world, and I don't even know it. So right now, you heard two other voices. If you're new here, they are who?
Jen Konikoff.
And Alex Mendel.
Alex Mendel. And fun fact about Alex Mendel, the reason why I really wanted to work with Alex, if you haven't been here before, is that his voice is drastically different from mine. So he can't confuse us. I hate when you listen to like radio shows and had two like females or two males and they sound almost exactly like you. Like, who is saying what?
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they all strategically place, like they all have different voices. I
don't know.
Who are you listening to? I don't know.
Well, no one anymore, but I only listen to Stern, really. Howard Stern, he's the best. But when I did, so I'll get in the car with my wife or like she'll have the radio on and like one of those shows will come up, like those local shows, those little talk shows, and they're cute and everything. But I can't really decide between the two people. Oh, one was Mind Pump. When I used to get in shape, there was a podcast all about working out and health and all that. And they had like four guys, like meatheads. I shouldn't say that. They actually seemed pretty cool. But they all, and I'm taking that back because they all can kick my ass. But there was four of them, and a couple of them did sound alike, and I didn't really know who was who. Anyways.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I was thinking, when you said radio, I really went back in my head when I did listen to the radio pre-podcast days. I'm like, U-Turn Laverne has a pretty unique, like, sound, who else? The Y100 peeps. All of them, they all have a very distinct voice and a great radio voice. I know exactly who is speaking, when, and, who, when, and where kind of deal. But
I've
yes,
seen reels and TikToks of, like, people of, like, the Call Her Daddy and those, like, those... women-led podcasts. I can never tell. I was like, is this person speaking to themselves?
Yeah, no, you're right. That's exactly it. So I heard one of that
should
episode.
I make my voice deeper?
No.
What's it called? Call Her Daddy or something like that.
Yeah,
so
it's one of the top
I saw
rated
something
ones.
come up that she got like a crazy deal. It was like $50 million for Sirius XM. And I think Howard Stern was talking about it actually. So I listened to one of her episodes, and these are people who do like podcasts for a living. Like they had the script, they have everything planned out to a T. This is like what they do. This is their job. And I gotta
Not
say,
like us.
No,
making zero money and no script.
We're realtors. We're a bunch of realtors, right? But the idea was that if you actually sit down and really, really focus, like this is your thing as a podcast, you never know where it can take you, right?
Yeah.
Like if you just put some extra, like not just a little, it's a lot of effort.
It's a lot of work.
It is
It's a lot of work, but I mean, you can have such an impact in the industry that you're trying to be a part of, or just impact. It's just so impactful. I listen to one every day. I'm all about the mindset.
Yeah, you and Christine on our team always sharing like these mindset podcasts.
Yeah, you have to. You got to get the mind right in order to get everything else right.
I feel like I need to, because I just focus on music and TikToks. I feel like I need something.
Well, I'll start sending you my Rob Dial ones on mindset.
Please
One of the number one mental health benefit podcasts out there.
Yeah, I need something that kind of like
one.
reorganizes the mind and really refocuses the mind to, because I've been I wouldn't say a funk, but I've been
Personal
reorganizing
journey?
my life. Yeah, over the last few months, and it's been kind of hard getting back into the swing of things. I feel like.
Yeah.
We
I
went
need to
through a
figure-
lot I guess we won't talk about until you're ready. But you went through a lot, so it makes sense. If you weren't in a funk, then you would be an alien.
I'd be a psychopath. There'd be
Well,
something.
you would not be normal. You would be suppressing some real shit.
Yeah.
And then eventually it will come out in a way that's really negative and extremely impactful.
Yeah,
in
turn
all the
Dahmer to
wrong ways.
Dahmer. I just want to take some pictures.
But you know what? One of the reasons why I started this podcast, one of them, there's many of them. One is, of course, content. Two, it's be able just to connect with people around the country and realtors and stuff like that. But the third one was because of let's be real, the nature of our business does weigh heavy on the mind of many of us. It's a hard industry. Don't listen to any sales. Like I have a coaching course, right? And I'm probably the only one who'll say, this is not easy. It's going to take a lot of time and you'll probably fail.
Oh, yeah.
You'll fail if you don't do it. All these other gurus.
It's called Real Talk.
It's Real Talk. Well,
it is.
Real Talk doesn't sell, unfortunately.
You're not one of those coaching gurus who like do this and now you can drive a Lambo just like me.
Yeah. Well, they talk about a lot of those coaching courses. If you hear them, it's the same stuff, just power dial, call. And you're like, well, you don't need a coach for that, A. And that's a horrible way to do sales. You can't sustain that. And B, you're coming from such a subordinate framework when you're calling people that you're immediately setting up yourself up for failure. You might get a deal here and there, but it's not a sustainable long-term thing that will keep you mentally sane.
Excellent segue. I was telling Alex.
Yeah.
I was telling Alex as to why we were running a little behind this morning, and it was awesome.
Well, tell us. Yeah. Remind me, because I already forgot.
I was like, oh shit. Hold on. Let me just tell them I'll call her back.
Okay. Oh, so you're a real realtor. You're working on the podcast.
I know. Like, Okay. Well, no. So I don't even know. Well, besides the fact that we were late, I was telling him that I was super excited about the book that we're reading, and we're just working on not only reading, but just putting action steps in place. And Pitch Anything can be taken into any business. Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff.
So good.
And I think I said his name right. Klaff.
Good enough.
All right, just don't,
Before we hit record. That's why I asked it.
Before. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so,
we did. You scared me.
We did. No.
Gosh.
He asked before.
Yeah.
So essentially, like, it just really brings it down to a scientific level when you're approaching a quote unquote pitch. And in our industry, whether we're talking to a seller or a buyer, we're always pitching something. And where we're at right now in the book early on, but one of the concepts that we're really focusing on is that framework aspect. And I just loved it. I love the framework breakdown, how to tackle it and how to be prepped for these types of conversation, because we are an asset. We are. And the fact of the matter is we're not seen as one often. So when we reframe it in a way where, there are plenty of sellers out there, there's only one of me. Let me tell you what I can do for you. I don't want to waste your time. And like the whole time framework and being able to dominate the framework is quite powerful. So I'm really enjoying where it's taking me in my little mind. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Encourage you to listen to it, Alex.
And Jen, you were telling me how you kind of consume books. Like it's not just reading.
Yeah, so listening and reading, and I actually take notes too, right? Because it's something about the mind connecting with what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and what you're writing is so powerful. Yep. And then I know Chris listens to it like a million times, whereas I listen to it maybe once to twice, no more than twice, as then I start getting a little.
What do you mean? You listen to it, Chris? You listen to the same
chapter
over and over
again.
Yeah.
I listened. Okay, so there's the fourth part of what Jen said. She said, listen, reading and writing. And the fourth part is actually teaching it.
Yeah.
So to kind of go back, I'll answer that question in a second, Alex, but to go back to the reason why.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah, put a pin in it. So we're on our team, and our team meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are book clubbing this together. So so we're all going through this particular book, and we're applying what we're learning chapter by chapter after our conversations to our actual pre-listing presentations, listing presentations, and follow-up. We're trying to follow science to maximize our client's experience and maximize our results. But anyways, so the reason why I also like doing that is that when you're in a book club setting and we all now know in the back of our brain that we have a slight obligation to the group to present back what we know, that just hits another part of your brain. So I don't understand what people will brag about how they read or even now listen to 50 books in the year. And I'm like, okay, tell me anything about those 50 books.
You can't. They'll be like, I don't know.
I think it's much smarter to read/listen and take notes on one book 50 times. Yeah. And if you can't, until you can teach that book back, you're not done with it. Mm-hmm. So what I do is, and I know it, I'm not talking about like books about dragons and love affairs and stuff like that. I'm talking about like books that are meant to level you up.
Right.
And I don't see any point. This is a trap that a lot of realtors get into, and not just with books, but in general, where they'll go to endless amounts of trainings and not apply any of it. They read a lot of books or listen to a lot of books and not apply any of it. Right.
Right.
I see that I have someone in mind who does this. There's two people actually I know in mind. They go to every single training that you can imagine, and they don't do any of the stuff. And then you see them at the next one. I'm like, wait, what? You have at least 3 weeks of work to put together what you learned in that one class. How do you even have time to come to this class?
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's something to be said about actually applying it, right? They're just constantly consuming the information, but that consumption is only going surface level. It's
Right.
it's not seeping into what is it, the neuro, what is it
the
called?
neocortex.
The neocortex. It's just surface. In reality, in order for them to truly understand what they're doing, they have to be able to apply it. And like you said, the last piece is that reciprocal teaching. You have to now take what you've learned, teach it back to somebody. That's how you know you've truly learned a concept, because you can now translate over to the next person.
Yeah,
that's why at our office is why I teach so much. I don't get paid for it. I'm devoting an hour and a half of my time just so I can get better at what I'm teaching and how to present it better, and how to learn and how to find new ways to, whether it's my video class that I teach, or I do a local stats class once a month as well, so I can learn the market better, how to present it better. I'm gonna have people asking me questions, and it's making my mind work as to how to convey the message that's in my mind better to somebody else. So the more you tell somebody about something, the more you learn and how you get better.
Yeah. It's actually, so what you're doing too with the students in your classroom, aka the other agents that are learning this content from you, it's the same concept for an agent who's not a presenter. They're educating the seller. They're educating the buyer. So the more you know it, the more you consume the information and can apply and teach it to your buyer or seller. Now that's when you can really say that you know the information.
Right.
When a buyer and seller can spit any question at you, and even if you don't know immediately the question, you're like, well, let me think on this real quick. Here, boom.
100%.
There's an amazing thing that happens when all of a sudden you realize you're going to be standing in front of a room or teaching a Zoom to a bunch of people on a topic. When you start preparing for it and go through, like, oh my God, these people are relying on me to give them information, and I don't know this that well as I thought I knew it. And then it forces you to sit down and spend that an hour or two really going over everything to make sure it's right. And what happens when you do that? You master it better. You get better, right? So that's a big reason. That's a reason why also, if I'm going to be selfish and maybe this can help others, I do have the coaching course, the Coaching by Cusi course. Yes, it's great for helping others. But what's amazing byproduct of that is that for me, because I present live every Tuesday and Thursday. Do you know how hard it is to have that much content and that get that much excitement and to bring something tangible and real fresh every twice a week? It's a lot.
I don't envy you, buddy.
Oh, it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It is. Oh, you know what you could do to that? Also to just stretch it, but also dig further, deeper with your peeps. And I'm not sure if it aligns, but if your Tuesday and Thursday people are similar or the same group, have that action step. Whereas what you talked about Tuesday, let's give them a little. I mean, I don't want to call it homework, but give them some experiments and then conversate about it.
No, you're right about that. So the idea behind all of them is that I'll come teach something and then you would apply that thing before the next class, because they're in order, they're structured. Right. And if you don't apply as you do, you're going to get to like week 12 and then what's going to happen, human nature, they go, well, I'll just wait till it starts over again. And then they kick the can of their life or their progress back another 4 or 5 months, right? So I'm going to be totally real about it. Humans, by their very design, they get really excited about something. They'll come to coachings or trainings for some are there religiously. There's a handful of those, but other than those 5 or 6 are there religiously, it's a cycle of people who are there for 8 or 9 lessons, and then they disappear, and they come back for 1 or 2, and they disappear. That's a that's how human beings are. And, I'm in a $520,000 coaching program, and I'm kind of guilty of that too. I have this actually, it's right here. I have my homework assignment. It was due on January 6th. It is the 22nd.
I had to look at the date. I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
right?
me too.
But it's sitting on my desk.
It's the 22nd, Chris.
I know.
¿Qué
But
estás haciendo? What are you doing?
It's not the lack of, but it's so it's actually really good point on that perspective, because it's not the lack of interest, it's not the lack of desire. It's just I have to do all these other things first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to go and now look at their perspective, like, okay, maybe they have a second job and they're figuring it out. Maybe this is happening, or maybe this is happening. I can't always assume that they're just not interested or they're just not capable, whatever. There's other factors at play, because I'm sure I paid my coach $500,000, well, 20 grand up front. And he hasn't heard from me in 3 weeks. He's probably thinking the same thing. Oh, this guy's a dud. Right. And
Fair
I just
point.
have,
but I would say to not necessarily gear your course, actionable steps on those people, because it's the ones that will see the value in those action steps and being able to talk about them. Yeah, and being able to talk, like, bounce those ideas, like, hey, here's what I thought after that training. I kind of created this. What do you think? Am I off the mark here, or am I on par? Like, how should I gauge this? And maybe seeing other people trying to apply it and seeing maybe it is as hard as it is, and I really need to use the help that I have here versus not. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
No, I like, I'm taking everything that you're saying. These are really valid points. Yeah, you're right. The situation that puts me into is like, okay, what if no one does that homework? What I mean? And
well, that's on them. That's not on you.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. So,
and having a
they're
backup.
the ones that are dropping the 20 grand and not doing it after 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
It's not even 20 grand. I forget how much it is.
520. Well, it's 520 if I don't do it.
I mean your students.
Oh, yeah. It's like
maybe that's why you should charge more.
Oh, we
Make
do.
it hurt. Make it hurt.
Now.
No, even more.
Yeah, we do now. No, we do now. So
exclusivity.
You cannot get the group coaching right now, and you can only get it 2 times a year now. It's the card actually opens up. I don't know whenever you're listening to this, dear listener, but we're in January, so the card opens up at the end of January just for 5 days, and that's when I allow people in for group coaching, and then again at the end of August for so what it is from February to July, Tuesdays and Thursdays, where we work as a group together to build businesses together, step by step by step. And then the cart opens up for that new segment to do it again. But to answer your question, Alex, yeah, I started charging more for a couple of reasons, and it's not for greed or money purposes. It's actually for my bandwidth purposes.
Yeah.
It's going to filter out the non-committed, and the people who were slightly committed, they now have more skin in the game to get it done.
Yeah, 100%.
Accountability goes such a long way. Like when you got money on the table, yeah.
Yeah, when you got money on the table, it's right now. Well, it was incredibly. So you can still get the on-demand trainings for very inexpensive. I think it's like $67 and $74 respectively, and it has all of it in there on demand. There's tons of content, but the group coaching is in there. The group coaching is where I'm putting the charge money in there, because that takes so much time. And what takes up a lot of my time, you guys don't see it, is on the back end. People will say, oh, I need to cancel. I'm like, times are tough right now. I'm like, well, it wouldn't be if you did this when you started it, and it's only $74, right? So, you know what I mean? Like I say that, but I kind of say that to myself, not out loud. But on the flip side, then they come back like, they come back on like, I know, like 3 months later, they'll come back like, oh man, this happened yet? This happened Tuesday. I'm not going to say her name, but she was like, I really want to learn what you teach. And I'm like, well, here's the link, sign back up. And she did. And she came back up. But all those things like canceling and restarting, it's a lot. You guys don't see it. But anyways, I'm not complaining. It's just the reason why I want to charge a higher price, because I'll get less of that. And then I'll get smaller group of people that I get really focused time and energy in, instead of a wide swath of people who are just kicking the can, honestly.
So maybe for new agents too, because just so that I triggered the accountability aspect of it. Finding, for any new agents out there, find a group of people that hold you accountable so that you can reach that ultimate goal. Find a group of people to go, to do this training, the Coaching by Cusi training with, and that way you guys can hold each other accountable and be at the end of this success road together. I don't know. I'm a big
Chris, I have an idea.
person. Ooh.
Those are great
What
points,
if-
Jen. But good.
Yeah, there was. And it's actually adding on to what Jen was saying. What if part of your program, and I know you have so much on your plate, but 15 minutes every morning, you host like a group accountability call. Everybody says what they're going to have planned for the day and were they able to accomplish yesterday's. 15 minutes. Everybody has 2 minutes to talk, tops. 1 minute.
1 minute. Make it quick, people.
That might be a good play because the system that we use to run this Kajabi, if you weren't aware, our team meetings are now run through their platform. It's instead of Google Meet, and it's actually pretty easy to set up. That's a great idea, Alex. I don't know if I can do it every day, but
Maybe it's not you. Maybe you have somebody else that is able to help you. Like it doesn't have to be you. Somebody could be like, hey, Jair, can you do this for me? I'm sure he would love to do that.
Oh, or Alex. How about Alex? I will give you a membership for free for life if you run that. Really?
Free for life.
You tell me. You're doing it.
Or, Alex and I can alternate.
There we go.
And I can jump into. Oh, I love this idea.
We're motivating people.
Well, don't commit to. You're kind of under pressure now a little bit, even though it was your idea. Like, think about this before you.
It's helping you out. No, I'm kidding. It'll help me out too because I feel like I've been. Nobody wants to come in saying the next day, "Oh, I didn't do anything yesterday."
That's what I'm saying. It's all about that accountability aspect. Nobody, and the same thing with training people. You don't want to be up there not being able to fulfill what you said you're going to do.
Amen.
Therefore, tell people what you're going to do. Say it nice and loud and proud, and you best to shit get it done because the next day somebody's going to ask you, "Did you get it done?"
Yep. Make sure you have, maybe in the next series of books that you create, maybe have like a sheet where it's like, this is what I had planned for today. Like expand it. I don't know. Just spitballing ideas.
We're in a brainstorming session here, guys.
No, I would actually love this because A, I could use that help. And B, I think that would actually be great for you guys as well because it will kind of force you to be more educated and well prepared and connect with agents too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be great. And then you can take what you learned and teach it in person in the market centers too. Right. I love it all around. Everyone wins. Yeah. Love it. Okay, let's talk about it. So, real quick, so people don't get bored of it. On the back end of the system, I could just make you two admins, and then I could just teach you in 10 seconds how to run the system. It's super easy, and you just go with it.
Sick.
Oh my God, I'm so excited now.
Cool.
Now we got to find a time to do it.
I love when I excite Chris.
Oh, I know. Why do you think you can't see my hands?
The romance happening right now.
Yeah, I'm single now, so no.
All right, but Jen, you have a good idea. So actually, in the third version of the training, which is it was a 45-day action plan, and it's still available. The people who get level 2 version of the training still get access to that version 3.0. But in the very beginning, that's the first task is to grab a buddy, and it sounds silly, but the stat is it's either 96 or 97. There is a 97% chance that you will succeed if you had a reliable, accountable partner to do a process with. And that's where the affiliate link ideas first started. I'm like, oh, okay, they got to get someone. Well, why don't I give them an affiliate link that they can give to a partner to join them? And that way their membership can be either free or discounted. So that way they're not both getting charged. That's a side note, guys, by the way. Inside the training, you get affiliate link. You only need 2 signups for your free for life. But yeah, that's great. So that's not in the new version of the training, but maybe it should be because that's a really good point. And this accountability meeting is super dope. I love it. So let's walk our way through it. Great idea.
Skin in the game call.
Skin in the game. So
that's why. Sorry, I was gonna. That's why for every race that I have, I have my I have my workout partners, I have my race partners, and I'm always looking for other people to join in on the fun. That way. We just have more people to collaborate with. If my training buddy can't go on Tuesday, hey, who else can go on Tuesday, Saturday morning? who's good for a 5 a.m. bike ride, who wants to go on the beach at 6:45 a.m. dip in that water.
I'm so jealous. That sounds so dope.
But
I wish I
it's
could.
powerful. A group of people that are counting on you to just constantly be at your best is a really just amazing feeling, because you're constantly pushing yourself. You don't want to let yourself down, let alone people who are counting on you.
I think that's why CrossFit became so popular, is the accountability for a while. And even like during the COVID, where Peloton got it, because it gave people a group accountability group digitally. I don't know, Peloton's in the tank.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because nobody is working out from home anymore. But Chris, that actually you made 2 points where it was Peloton and CrossFit, and if you think about it, it's not. Yes, it is the accountability, but both of them are like things that you do, like work out and cycle, but gamified, right? So
Gamified.
Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody wants to get their PR on the wall. They want to see how many rides they did, right?
Oh yeah. On Strava, you can like challenge people on Strava.
Exactly. There's a book on like gamification of life, and how everybody, like, that's why I love my new Dyson that I got that has a little green light. It's like, in my mind, it's like no, but it's like a game now, because it's like now I get to see, like, it's almost like Space Invaders, right? In my mind, I just see where the dust
how does
is.
this work?
Wait.
So it's like this little green light that shows you where the dust is. Like it highlights.
Really?
It's amazing because it's like all this microscopic dust mites, but this green laser like shines on it and it reflects it. So now I know where I missed.
No wonder you were so like set on the fact. I was like, oh, just wait till it gets dusty in there. You're like, no, it is.
It is dusty because I can see it with this little green laser.
That would be a bad thing to have, because I would never leave the house. I would just be dusting with
That's what I'm doing. Like out of nowhere, I'm like, oh, I gotta. But it is so, like, if we could figure out a way to gamify your coaching, I think you'll go even higher.
Well, I did that in the school community for a while, and I just couldn't manage it. It was too much. Where in the school community, you go on there, and the more you interact and the more you post.
I don't know if you guys can see this.
He's showing the thing on the
Dyson.
the green light on the.
I see the green light.
It's so cool.
It is cool. I had in the school community that there was gamified, but I just couldn't manage it. It's just too much to add, you know?
Well, how would you manage it? Wouldn't there be like, couldn't you do like where every time they finish maybe a chapter, they now get, oh, you're a superstar now. 5
like
more
badges.
Trainings, like badges, yeah.
Yes, there is. Okay, so yes. So inside of the system, you can automate anything. So if someone hits complete on a thing or a section and they hit complete, you could have it so it automates where I'll send them an email which could contain anything. It can contain a voucher for a t-shirt with that level 3 or whatever you want. I'm just giving, you can do that. It's just I haven't had a chance to do those things, truthfully. But you can. And you guys, once you have admin access, by all means, run in and do it.
Oh, why? Thank you, sir. But I will actually keep kind of mulling over some ideas, because I do agree with you, Alex. People enjoy leveling up, the gamifying version of that, and just that leaderboard. I mean, Orange Theory became Orange Theory because people love to see their name and seeing their, what is it, the color orange, just because that's the color it's supposed to be at. That's the highest intense color. I don't know. I never did Orange Theory.
Oh, is that what that's about?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the board that's on the screen that's on the on the studio wall just shows the names and everybody's level, their heart rates, and you're supposed to get to orange, is my understanding.
Isn't that fascinating how the human brain works?
Oh,
that's just
we have
amazing.
one too at F45. I don't like to be at the top because, not that I don't like, I have a really good resting heart rate. I push hard, but if I'm at the top, I know I'm like dying. And at the end of the day, I'm all about keeping that heart rate.
Listen, Jen, at your age, no offense, at our age, I should say, those 20-year-olds should be at the top. Like, right? Like, we're,
they all down.
I go to the gym now, and I don't go to those types of gyms. I have my book. There it is, right here. I got my book.
how big is your desk? Every time you're like, wait, hold on.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
Look.
well, this is actually this is the book, but I'm finishing the one before this, and this one I start again. But I have my book. I go there. It's a journal. What workout to do and when, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. When I'm going to do it, I put my headphones on, I focus, and I get out. I don't have any interest on competing with anyone else other than just accomplishing my task. But that's just me. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Right.
But I was just thinking how fascinating the human brain is, where some people and many people really love that aspect of it, you know, like even like, so I want to say probably twice a week, I'll get to a point at night where I just don't feel like working, which is rare, but then but I also don't like consuming content. So I'll just throw on Call of Duty for like 30 minutes and you'll hear these people, they're all excited about ranking up and the new guns they got and all that. I'm like, really? That's what you care about? But people do. Like, I'm like, I don't give a shit what rank I am. I'm just here for 30 minutes to kill some people and then go to bed. You know what I mean?
And then there's that.
But you're right. People human beings have that dopamine hit, right?
Yeah.
They just constantly want to be rewarded. So we're wrapping up. I know we only been recording for 30 minutes, but that's because we started late today.
Wait, it was 30 minutes of some good shit right there.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
I do before we end, if you guys are okay with it. And if you don't have time, that's fine too. We have 12 minutes officially on our clock to go. But in the current, I don't know whenever you, listener, John, Susie, hi, are listening to this, but as of January 22nd, 2025, the last two meetings that we did in the coaching group membership was we did the business-to-business networking, which is the number one thing I would do if I moved into a new area. Day one. Actually, I got so invigorated by teaching that again that I have started doing it again. It's really cool. We could talk about it. And then yesterday or whatever it was, Tuesday. Yeah, it's yesterday. We spoke. We did. What was it that we did? Absentee owners, which I love too, but that's labor intensive. Those are the two things I would. So the point is, we have 4 P's of doing business, and one of the P's is people, finding people to push our product to promote a product to. Those are 2 of the other 4. And a lot of people don't have databases, and they go, well, what would I do if I just moved to an area? I don't know anyone. So that's what the last 2 trainings were. And just to give you a quick clipped out version, and then let's talk about it amongst us 3, is that the business-to-business networking thing is, for me, the most exciting. And I think what everyone should be doing in their business. In 2019, I don't know if I said this before on the show, but real quick, in 2019, I started a business-to-business networking group, kind of to level up my Dream 300 database. And in just a short time, it was before COVID shut us down. It was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months of us doing it without me not really knowing what the hell I was doing. And I got 5 or 6 transactions from it. And it was fun. And it was great. And then I had 2 babies after that, which derailed doing it again. And then Jair and our team came in, and I started talking to him about it. And he's like, well, I want to do that. So in a nutshell, what it is, you got to look at it like this. If you're if you're into a new area, a new location, and you don't know people, how do you grow your business without doing those subordinate tasks they teach, which cold calling, door knocking, expired FSBOs? If you can't stomach that, which most people don't, that's why they don't do it forever. What do?
Mm-hmm.
You can't run a bunch of ads because you're broke, right? You just moved. So what I would do, I would find a bunch of small local business owners and go there in person. And I've been doing this, and I've been like, hey, here's some cool things that I'm doing. I have a networking group that we meet 3 or 4 times a year where we hand out each other's cards. And on top of that, this is all the cool things that I do for you, right? And we can talk about those if you want. So I show them how much value that they will have by being part of this business-to-business networking group, and what they can get out of me in exchange for them being active on the Facebook group, sending one solid real estate referral to me a year. And then, and just, that's it. Just being, and allowing me to help to make content with and for them at their establishment. Right. Yeah. And we started that up. We already got, within a week, we got the owner of Dear Olivia, a new restaurant opening up in Parkland, Florida. We got the owner of Gray's Craze, which we spoke about. And I have a meeting with How You Doing, the cleanest, artesiest pizza place in Boca. And that's real. They have a new shop, a new store, very popular. How You Doing? I have a meeting with them next week. And today I have a phone call with someone who owns a moving company, not a moving service like we had last week. He does moving supplies for those moving companies. So I don't know where that's going to go. But my point is now when I'm talking to people and doing my daily tasks and they have small businesses, I'm going there with a mindset, hey, this person has a small business. How can I bring them aboard on this? And it's actually really reinvigorated me. I think it's super exciting.
I think it's exciting. Well, kudos first and foremost, but it's definitely even more exciting too because you're bringing people that are within your Dream 300 and beyond. But if you're starting out with your Dream 300, you're now providing a service to them as well, right? You're coming in with giving, right? Hey, I want to start this and be able to promote you. Of course, please promote me as well. Here's what we can do together. And I think we can do some real kick-ass content, be able to support each other, and just, again, from a giving place and being able to push what we have to offer on both ends. So really.
Yeah, it's a great way to be part of your community as well. You want to be a community market leader, basically.
Well, if you think about it, what I told Jair for small businesses to look up to is, do they have a active following, or are they active on at least Instagram particularly? And the big reason why is if they are, then they understand the value of making content and they want to make content. They'll welcome people to help them make content. And now when you collaborate with them, all of the people on their feed that they work so hard to get now see who you are and vice versa.
They'll know what to do with the content.
Yeah,
how to even make the content if they want to do it. And you do produce good content. They may try one thing, but that may not work. Maybe you can give them other pointers of how to make their content even better. So now you're changing the way that their businesses ran as well.
Yeah, and most small businesses are not good at that stuff. And when they do make that content, for most part, it's stressful for them. It takes out of their time of doing their business, and oftentimes it's expensive. And you're saying, hey, I'm just going to come do it for free. Don't just be there.
Yeah.
Why would they say no to that? Right? They wouldn't. And then you can double down on that content. So you can do like a little explainer piece. You want to see what the cleanest place in Boca to eat pizza at? Right here. How you doing? Let me show you how clean it is. I'm going to eat off their floor, whatever it is. Right? I know. I'm just giving you an example. But you can have a blooper reel. You can have blooper reels of you recording, which Jen and I put out a lot of.
I just saw yours yesterday. That was funny.
But that's extra content of that place that's already built into the content recorded. You're just repurposing outtakes, right?
I feel like BTS is really the hot trend right now. Is behind the scenes content. That's what.
Oh, is that
like a lot of like
ask, what
big
does
companies.
BTS mean?
Yes, I realized you guys probably didn't know what that was.
Bind, torture, and slice.
Sure.
It was the BTK killer. You don't know?
Oh,
it was bind, torture, and kill. The BTK killer.
A lot of serial killer talk in this episode. No, it's all these big brands. They're like on TikTok and Reel. None of it's selling. The ones that do social media really well, none of it sells the product. It's all about what goes on behind the scenes. Because then they get that familiarity, like, oh, this is a normal company. This isn't a corporate company. They're not spending millions of dollars to produce content. They're just taking out their phone or showing their day-to-day, and I can relate to that.
It's relatable and trustworthy. Yeah, we've been preaching to our videographer, Josh, the former host of this podcast with me, to please give us a blooper reel for each listing video. And he has his reasons why he doesn't, which we keep arguing over. But the reason why I want him is so people can really see who we are. Yeah. That we're not stuck up. We don't always have to show we're so perfect and that we're real human beings that make mistakes and we're okay with it. And people relate to that. You're right, Alex, 100%. And that gets the most engagement, by the way.
It does. That's why I had that bagel video where I had a booger on my mustache and I kept it in. It's relatable.
Dude, you reminded me. I did a video explainer for the people who signed up for the launch course. And after I did the video, I had this one hair like hanging out here. Like it kind of it's so obvious. And I'm like, I don't care.
Leave it in.
Listen, let's be real. If I had more time, I would have re-recorded it, but I didn't. And I'm like, whatever,
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I'm not going to work with that guy. He had a stray hair. I will be broke because I don't like his hair.
Most likely. That's what it is. You're not perfect. You're supposed to be perfect.
Oh boy.
Reality is a real thing.
So in the book that we're reading, Pitch Anything, he says that when you see the energy in the room start to dip, you are losing frame control. And I see the energy in the room of us dipping, and I'm losing frame control of you two. So I think we have to go.
My phone is buzzing. I
Yeah, me
gotta
too.
go.
Me too. I know. Me too. I know.
Realtors, real estating.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm
All right,
sorry, Chris. I was there until
you
my
weren't.
phone buzzed like
You
50
gotta put that
times.
phone down.
I know.
Anyways, no, you're right. I'm busy too. So, all right. It is 12 o'clock here. That's where our time block ends for this. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of us. And we clipped this out, put it on our Instagrams and Facebook, some of these clips. And you can also see us video on YouTube as well. Just search Coaching by Cusi or Real Estate Roadmap or whatever. You'll find, or our names. I don't even know how you find us, but you're going to find us.
Click on response to that email from yesterday.
Oh yeah. We have a guest that you didn't get back to her. I'll get back to her. I'll get back to her. I didn't know if you
your name's on the marquee. So
by the way, Alex, before we end this, I know we all gotta go. Sorry, I just saw a text. I gotta stop looking at my text.
Yeah.
I sent you an email back after you sent me an email about 4 weeks ago. Because you're talking about maybe joining the team, and you wrote me an email, and I responded back, and I was like, you know what? He's frame controlling me. He's letting me know that he's the prize, and that's why he's not getting back to me. But in case that's not the case, I did send it, and you might have not saw it.
No, I saw it.
Oh, okay. Well, screw you too.
Excellent way to end
I've been
this.
busy.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Thanks again, guys.
Have a great one.